Hey guys, Butch Brown here. I'm at Lake Casitas, California with the Tackle Warehouse crew. This is the first day that I've been able to try this Shimano Trance, and I really like it. I'm a Calcutta, diehard Calcutta 400 guy, but now that I'm throwing this reel around, I might be changing. I really like it. It's super smooth. I feel no bind in the action of the bait when it turns, because some reels you feel that. The gear ratio seems to be perfect. The spool has a lot of line on it at the end of a long cast. It is just a touch faster than the other reel, but I could see where that comes into play, especially on the burn. I really like them a lot. When I'm throwing a big bait like this, I like something in a 400 size. There's many of them out on the market right now, but you want to get yourself a 400 size if you're going to be throwing 20-pound test. And I wouldn't go less than a 300 size reel if you're going to be into the 15 to maybe 18-pound class. You want something that has somewhere between a 5.1 gear ratio up to maybe a 6. Too fast makes you fish too fast, but yet you can always adjust when you have something in that range right there. You pretty much have to have a specialty rod. You can't just pick any rod up. It needs to be a swim bait rod. There's plenty of them out there. 8-foot, heavy action, depending on the bait. This is 6.5 ounces. Most baits seem to be in that realm. You'll know if you've got the wrong rod for the bait, because when you throw it, if the rod is too soft, the bait will cartwheel through the air. If you have the right rod and you throw it, the bait's going to lay out there just nice and smooth with little bit of effort, you know. And it's a pendulum motion that you use when you cast. You don't snap your cast. It's not flipping or anything. One of the features that I look for in a rod is the fact that from the reel to the edge of my elbow just seems to be a sweet spot for me. It's always been that way. That's what I look for, other than it's a heavier power rod. But it's up to you to decide what size baits you're going to fish, because not everybody throws 10-inch baits. Some throw the 8-inch and a little bit lighter. So then you want to scale down a little bit from there, go to like a medium heavy kind of rod. As far as line is concerned, I do fish 20-pound fluorocarbon. And one of the main reasons for that is I'm making long casts, but it has very little stretch. It's very sensitive, and it'll sink with the bait. So if you throw a bait and you let it sink to the bottom on a long cast, it doesn't take long for that line to get direct, versus if you have a copolymer or a monofilament, it tends to float in the water column, and then you have to bring the bait a quarter of the way in to get that to level out. So to me, it's very important to be throwing the fluorocarbon. It lasts a long time on the reel. It doesn't have a memory on it. And one of the best fluoros that I've ever used, and I won't switch for anybody, is the Seagar Abrazex. I don't break it. I land my big fish. You can watch my videos and see how hard I pull on them. So I have very, very few failures when it comes to that. The maintenance part of this bait, that's pretty important in my opinion. This bait has a little hole in the back, okay? And this whole jacket fills up with water when you're fishing. And then there's a little vent right in here. Okay, and water shoots through there when you're working the bait. And that's how it's supposed to be. But when you're done fishing, what you need to do, because this is a clear finish, and like a plastic worm, when it's in the water for a couple of days, it gets that milky color. Well, this bait is pretty much no different. You'll see a little bit of it form here if you don't dry it out properly. So as far as maintenance is concerned, you know, you just want to squeeze all that water out like a little rubber ducky toy in the bathtub, and then shake it all out. And then my favorite way of doing it is on the way home is I throw it on the dash and turn the heater on. But you know, do what you can do. You can use a blow dryer. You can just keep it in a nice warm spot, hang it, You know, don't lay it down, because then the tail will slightly get bent and then you'll wonder why the bait's not swimming right. If that does occur, which it happens, you know, sometimes it's even laying in the boat like that. You can take a heat gun, you can throw it on your dash, turn the heater on, and it'll go right back where it's supposed to be, and off you go fishing again. You know, but storage, it's not a cheap bait, so you need to take care of it. You know, you just can't just throw it in a tackle box with a bunch of plastic worms, because if it touches a plastic worm, the plastic from the plastic worm will actually make this swell up, sort of like oil on a bushing on a car or something. It's not good. You don't want to use any scent on these at all, because the oils get secreted inside and it stiffens up the rubber. But definitely a game changer in my world. And when I first got this bait, it was in the springtime, and I caught fish on it right away. But I had to go through the different hooks to get the fish to stick. But it was the goose that laid the golden egg for my summertime fishing. You know, it was the hottest, brightest days of the year that I couldn't get bit on my HUD. I couldn't get bit on half the stuff I had. It was just dead still. But when I put the 250 on, it just like, that was it. I have all my baits throughout the year that I'm going to be needing to catch trophy-sized bass. You know, I did my homework, and that's what I believe in.